Lieutenant Colonel R.C. Woody, Commanding Officer, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, will now address the audience.
Lieutenant General Zinni, Mrs. Zinni, Brigadier General Kelly, Mrs. Kelly, Colonel Guerin, Mrs. Guerin, distinguished guests, friends, and families of the men of Company B. Thank you for attending this significant event. Since their arrival, nearly 12 weeks ago, the men of Company B have been referred to as recruit or private. Not once have they been addressed as Marines. It is my privilege today and my pleasure to be the first to address them as Marines. Good morning, Marines! As you can tell by their response, they're proud. They're proud of their achievements, just as you are. We're in the business of making Marines here, but we couldn't do it without you. We thank you. We thank you for your support. We thank you for the letters that you've sent to your Marine. We thank you for providing us with your most cherished asset, your son, your loved one. The one thing that distinguishes the United States Marine Corps from other armed forces is our recruit training. And the driving force behind that recruit training is our legendary drill instructors. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you, the drill instructors of Company B have performed magnificently. And I would ask that at the end of this ceremony, that you seek out your son or your loved one's drill instructor, and you thank him for a job well done. I would also ask that as you return to your hometowns, stop in, see your son's recruiter, let him know that he did well by you, and also send him some more good men like the men of Company B. To the wives of the drill instructors and officers of Company B, no one knows more about the time, dedication, and sacrifice that it takes in the making of a Marine than you do. Thank you. Take time to spend some quality time together during this break in the training cycle. To the parents and loved ones of the men of Company B, you're going to notice some changes in your Marine when you greet him for the first time. He's going to appear to stand a little bit taller. He's going to act a little bit older. And he's going to be in the best physical condition of his life. And you're going to notice a newfound pride. Pride in the fact that he's a part of the world's finest fighting organization. Pride in the fact that he has earned the title United States Marine. He'll always be your son, and he'll always be your loved one. But from this day forward, he'll always be a United States Marine. Marines of Company B, this is the first step. You have my congratulations. There are many more steps to follow. I ask that as you leave this depot and move on to new posts and stations, that you remember to live by our core values of honor, courage, and commitment. Good luck, Godspeed, and Semper Fidelis. Hoorah!
This morning, Company B, 1st Recruit Training Battalion, will form and march in the parade.
Stand up! Forward! March!
Following the pass and review, the graduating Marines will return front and center of the reviewing stand for their final dismissal. The staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the Recruit Training Regiment. The commander of troops is Major G.D. Yates, Executive Officer, 1st Recruit Training Battalion. The parade adjutant is Chief Warrant Officer 2 J.E. Cousins, Jr. Recruit Administration Officer, Personal Administration Center, Support Battalion. Marching in today's parade are the 484 graduating Marines from Company B. Recruit training comprises subjects required to produce basic Marines who function effectively in garrison, are trained in rudimentary individual field and combat skills, and practice the personal and professional traits which distinguish them as Marines. Examples of these traits are discipline, the achievement of a state of discipline which assures respect for authority, instant willing obedience to orders, and the self-reliance to maintain or improve those traits which exemplify a Marine. Military bearing, consistently demonstrating military presence and personal awareness, as well as the proper wearing and maintenance of uniforms. Esprit de corps, acquiring the common spirit of the Marine Corps that inspires enthusiasm, devotion, pride, initiative, teamwork, aggressiveness, determination, moral courage, integrity, camaraderie, and the burning desire to work with and for others towards excellent and common goals. For the Marines of Company B, today marks the end of the 11-week recruit training cycle. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton and on this parade deck, and have been trained as all Marines as basic riflemen. In addition, due to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the recruit depot. Today, they are Marines, qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated.
present are accounted for.
The Command Officers Center March, all unit commanders and guidon bearers marched to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that the commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with the tradition of once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. At this time, we ask that those men and women in the audience who are former Marines please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in showing our appreciation for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. Now taking his place in the reviewing area is Lieutenant General Anthony C. Zinni, Commanding General, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, Camp Pendleton, California. He is accompanied by Colonel J.M. Guerin, Commanding Officer, Recruit Training Regiment, Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, California. Lieutenant General Zinni was commissioned a second lieutenant upon graduation from Villanova University in 1965. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics, a Master of Arts degree in International Relations, and a Master of Arts degree in Management and Supervision. Lieutenant General Zinni's past duty assignments have included Platoon Commander and Company Commander, 1st Battalion, 6th Marines, Company Commander, 1st Infantry Training Regiment, Infantry Battalion Advisor to the Vietnamese Marine Corps, Tactical Instructor, Platoon Commander, and Company Executive Officer, the Basic School, Company Commander, 1st Battalion, 5th Marine Regiment in the Republic of Vietnam, Company Commander and Guard Officer, 3rd 4th Service Regiment, Company Commander, 1st Battalion, 8th Marines, and aide to the Commanding General and Officer in charge of the Infantry Training Center, Commanding Officer, 2nd Battalion, 8th Marines, Operations and Tactics Instructor, Command and Staff College, Head of the Special Operations and Terrorism Counteraction Section, and as the head of the Marine Air Ground Task Force Concepts and Capabilities Branch, Operations Division, Headquarters Marine Corps, Commanding Officer, 9th Marine Regiment, and Commanding Officer, 35th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Deputy Director of Operations, United States European Command, Chief of Staff and Deputy Commanding General, Combined Task Force, Provide Comfort in Turkey and Iraq, Military Coordinator for Operation Provide Hope in the former Soviet Union, Director for Operations, Unified Task Force Somalia for Operation Restore Hope, and Deputy Commanding General, Marine Corps Combat Development Command. He assumed his current duties in June 22, 1994. Lieutenant General Zinni's personal decorations consist of the Defense Superior Service Medal with 2 oak leaf clusters, the Bronze Star Service Medal with Combat B, and Gold Star, the Purple Heart Medal, the Meritorious Service Medal with Gold Star, the Navy Combination Medal with Combat B with Gold Star, the Navy Achievement Medal with Gold Star, the Combat Action Ribbon, the Vietnamese Honor Medal, and the French National Order of Merit. Lieutenant General Zinni is married to the former Debbie Bathke. They have 3 children, Lisa, Maria, and Anthony. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise for honors to Lieutenant General Anthony C. Zinni, Commanding General, 1st Marine Expeditionary Force, Camp Pendleton, California. Thank you. Please be seated. More than 1 million Marines have been trained here in the past 70 years and have departed San Diego for combat in conflicts around the world, including places whose names are immediately associated with Marine courage and dedication, names such as Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Iwo Jima, Pusan, Incheon, Quezon, Way City, Lebanon, Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, and Somalia. This parade deck is rich in history and tradition, and no Marine trained here ever forgets its sights and sounds. Ladies and gentlemen, as the national flag passes directly in front of you, please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commander of Troops, Major G.D. Yates, and the regimental staff. The Marine Band San Diego, conducted by Chief Warrant Officer 2 J.A. Ford. Drum Major, Gunnery Sergeant T.G. Miller. The series commander for the 1041 series is Captain J.M. Sappenfield, Sergeant L.E. Archibald, and Platoon 1041. Sergeant A.A. Hammond in Platoon 1042. Staff Sergeant L.A. Adrianson in Platoon 1043. The series commander for the 1045 series is Captain T.V. Johnson. Staff Sergeant P.J. Merriman in Platoon 1045. Sergeant R.A. Newton in Platoon 1046. Staff Sergeant J.A. McKean in Platoon 1047. The Marine Corps' uniqueness and strength as an elite fighting force is directly attributable to the magnificent efforts of the drill instructors and company officers that train and supervise the recruits. The distinct qualities of spirit and discipline, the heart and soul of every Marine, have been developed, nurtured, and ingrained in the recruits through their observance and relationship with the drill instructors and officers. Recruit training is the very foundation of the Corps. Each year, recruit training provides thousands of America's finest young men and women with the basic knowledge and skills to function in a profession characterized by its own set of high values and tough standards. For the young men graduating today, the long, arduous journey of the last 11 weeks is but a small step into the future of the Marine Corps. As they prepare to fill our ranks of our Corps, they do so with unquestionable support for the high ideals and standards of the United States of America and the United States Marine Corps. Although Company B prepares for their final dismissal from boot camp today, their initial training is not over. After a well-deserved 10 days of leave, these young men will report Marine combat training at the School of Infantry, Camp Pendleton, California, where they would continue to be trained to serve as an effective member of a Marine rifle squad in the offensive and defensive combat. The intense initial training that every Marine undergoes is designed to instill a fundamental premise that is best described in the words of the 30th Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Carl E. Munday, Jr. The sense that every Marine is a rifleman is at the heart of the ethos of the Corps. For all Marines, there is a constant, a sea anchor. Every Marine is a rifleman. 1994 commemorates part of the 50th anniversary of America's 4-year involvement in the Second World War. 50 years ago this week, the Battle of Leyte Gulf, the 3rd and 7th United States fleets destroyed the power of the Japanese Navy in the last serious threat to the United States reinvasion of the Philippines. The Japanese lost 4 carriers, 3 battleships, 10 cruisers, 9 destroyers, and a submarine. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we would like to introduce to you the Marines responsible for ensuring the success of the difficult transition required to become a Marine. We request that the audience hold their applause until all these Marines have been introduced. If you would look towards the center and to the front of the reviewing stand. The company commander is Captain Andrew H. Smith. The company first sergeant is First Sergeant Antonio Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front, the series commander for the 1041 series is Captain John M. Sappenfield. The assistant series commander is First Lieutenant Robert C. Wright, Jr. The series gunnery sergeant is Staff Sergeant Robert A. Stedham. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1041 is Sergeant Lawrence E. Archambault. He is assisted by Sergeant Grens B. Henry, Sergeant Gilbert D. Moyers, and Sergeant James E. Brooks. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1042 is Sergeant Alan A. Hammond. He is assisted by Sergeant Timothy A. Avalon, Sergeant Kenneth L. Williams, and Sergeant Mark D. Gleason. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1043 is Staff Sergeant Louis A. Adrazen, and he is assisted by Staff Sergeant John F. Forbes, Sergeant Richard C. Archer, Sergeant Bernard L. Jordan, and Sergeant Lovell A. Richardson. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your right front, the series commander for the 1045 series is Captain Thomas V. Johnson. The series gunnery sergeant is Gunnery Sergeant Miguel F. Phillips. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1045 is Staff Sergeant Patrick J. Merriman. He is assisted by Staff Sergeant Sean C. Winez, Sergeant Derek M. Kimbrough, and Sergeant Gregorio Salinas. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1046 is Sergeant Robert A. Newton. He is assisted by Sergeant Andrew T. Cece, Sergeant Darrell A. Brandt, and Sergeant Jeffrey L. Jacobson. The senior drill instructor for Platoon 1047 is Staff Sergeant John A. McKean. He is assisted by Sergeant Jeffrey M. Kilgore, Sergeant Albert Salas, and Sergeant Adrian Rojas. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines of Company B. The Commandant of the Marine Corps has established 5 requirements for the completion of recruit training. In satisfying the requirements, Company B has accomplished the following: water survival qualification, rifle qualification, the final written and practical examination, the final physical fitness test, and the battalion commander's inspection. Although all Marines of Company B perform superbly, certain Marines clearly distinguish themselves as high shooters, most physically fit, and honormen. At this time, we would like to recognize those Marines who obtain the highest rifle qualification scores within their respective platoons. Rifle qualification consists of firing 50 rounds from ranges of 200, 300, and 500 meters for a possible score of 250 points. Please hold your applause until all these high shooters have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front, the high shooter from Platoon 1041 is Private First Class Derek D. Smith from Lone Park, California, with a score of 234 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1042 and also company high shooter is Private Michael A. Chabuka from Hallettsville, Texas, with a score of 236 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1043 is Private Peter M. Rumler from Oscar, Louisiana, with a score of 231 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1045 and also series high shooter is Private First Class Bradley W. Metzger from Whittemore, Iowa, with a score of 236 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1046 is Private First Class Billy J. Weathers II from Lokiba, Oklahoma, with a score of 229 points. The high shooter from Platoon 1047 is Private First Class Min S. Coe from Seattle, Washington, with a score of 232 points. Ladies and gentlemen, the high shooters of Company B. The next group to be recognized are those men who have excelled in physical fitness. The Marine Corps Physical Fitness Test consists of 3 events: pull-ups, sit-ups, and a timed 3-mile run. It is possible to score 100 points in each event for a perfect score of 300 points. To achieve a perfect score, a Marine must accomplish the following: 20 pull-ups, 80 sit-ups in 2 minutes, and a 3-mile run in 18 minutes or less. Please hold your applause until all the most physically fit Marines have been introduced. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would look to your left front, the most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1041 is Private First Class Tomas Frias from Phoenix, Arizona. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1042 is Private J.A. Villani from Lakeville, Minnesota. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1043 is Private First Class Charlton W. Jaberk Jr. from LaPlace, Louisiana. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1045 is Private Christopher A. Duchek from Mason City, Iowa. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1046 is Private First Class Rogelio M. Nunez Jr. from Austin, Texas. Private First Class Nunez Jr. is also designated the company's most physically fit Marine by virtue of performing 41 pull-ups, 115 sit-ups, and a 3-mile run in 18 minutes. The most physically fit Marine from Platoon 1047 is Private First Class Jesse B. Hernandez from Covina, California. Ladies and gentlemen, the most physically fit Marines of Company B. The next portion of the ceremony will be the traditional function of retiring the guidons. The guidons have been carried by the platoons throughout recruit training and are being retired to symbolize the disbanding of the platoons. All similar units in the Marine Corps carry such guidons, which identify the unit and are a source of pride to each individual member. Note that the honor of carrying these guidons is bestowed upon those Marines who have displayed outstanding leadership qualities, motivation, and enthusiasm, and were selected as the platoon honorman. The guidons will now be returned to the drill instructors. The men standing before you are the platoon honormen. The honormen are recognized as being the most outstanding Marines in their platoons. They are chosen for demonstrating the highest qualities of leadership, discipline, academic proficiency, and military bearing. The platoon honormen compete for the title of company and series honormen, who are considered the top men graduating today, and have demonstrated the highest potential for future leadership and responsibility in the Marine Corps. Each honorman will receive a plaque from the Marine Corps Association Leatherneck Magazine, a magazine for and about Marines. The company honorman will receive a plaque from the Navy League in recognition of his being the top Marine graduating today. The honormen will be presented their plaques by the commanding officer of 1st Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel R.C. Woody, and assisted by the Battalion Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major G.G. Trescott. Ladies and gentlemen, please hold your applause until all the honormen have been introduced.
Sir, Marines to receive awards are present.
The honorman from Platoon 1041 is Private First Class Joseph M. Coddington from Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was recruited by Sergeant Kenneth W. Daniels from Recruiting Substation, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The honorman from Platoon 1042 and also company honorman is Lance Corporal Tobias L. Crabtree from Lakewood, Colorado. He was recruited by Sergeant James A. Clemens from Recruiting Substation, Denver, Colorado. The honorman from Platoon 1043 is Private First Class Louis L. Ambo, Jr. from New Orleans, Louisiana. He was recruited by Gunnery Sergeant Timothy D. Stewart from Recruiting Substation, New Orleans, Louisiana. The honorman from Platoon 1045 is Private First Class Reynold J. Rosinski III from Springs, Texas. He was recruited by Staff Sergeant James H. Todd from Recruiting Substation, Spring, Texas. The honorman from Platoon 1046 is Private First Class Rogelio M. Nunez, Jr. from Austin, Texas. He was recruited by Sergeant Charles W. Kerwin from Recruiting Substation, Austin, Texas. The honorman from Platoon 1047 and also series honorman is Lance Corporal Daniel A. Schaffo from St. Louis, Missouri. He was recruited by Sergeant Howard L. Lawrence from Recruiting Substation, St. Louis, Missouri. Ladies and gentlemen, the honormen of Company B.
Company First Sergeant!
The Marines hymn is the oldest of the official songs of the armed services, with words dating back to the 19th century. The music was first performed in November 1859. Marines always get on their feet when it is sung or played. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines hymn. The senior drill instructors will now dismiss their platoons. This will be the last order the new Marines receive from their drill instructors, and probably the most welcome order they have received while in boot camp.
Two Marines. Proud there.
Give me that old Marine Corps yo. I hit the surface and I'm ready to go. A side stroke, backstroke, I swim to the shore. Side stroke, backstroke, swim to the shore. I hit the beach and I'm ready for war. I hit the beach and I'm ready for war. M16 and cable by my side. M16 and cable by my side. These are the tools which make men die. These are the tools which make men die. So pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Oh, rada leo, rada leo. Lefty rada leo, lefty rada leo. Oh, right leo, right leo. Left right leo, left right leo. Oh, rada leo, rada leo. We love to double time, we love to double time. We do it all the time, we do it all the time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go, here we go. Get louder, get prouder, get prouder. Pump it up, pump it up. The drill instructor, won't you come on out? Drill instructor, won't you come on out? Let us hear you scream and shout. Let us hear you scream and shout. I take it on the left foot, take it on the left foot. A mighty, mighty left foot, mighty, mighty left foot. A motivated left foot, a motivated left foot. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Take it, take it. I got it, I got it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. On the run, on the run, on the run, on the run. Just for fun, just for fun. Pump it up, pump it up, pump it up, pump it up. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Heavy on the left foot. 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 Now you're right, you know. You're right, you know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Easy run. Easy run. Easy run. Easy run. Just for fun. Just for fun. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feeling good. Feeling good. Feeling fun. Feeling fun. Feeling good. All day, all day, all night, all night, all day, all day, all night, all night. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling fun, feeling fun. Ah, 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 ah. More motivated, more motivated. Da 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 dedicated, determinated, determinated. To be the best, 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 to be the best. Forget the rest, forget the rest. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. PT every day, PT every day. Builds our body the Marine Corps way, builds our body the Marine Corps way. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Push-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, pull-ups. 3 more, 3 more. Feeling good, feeling good. Oh yeah, oh yeah. 1 more, 1 more. No sweat, no sweat. 2 more, 2 more. No good, no good. 3 more, 3 more. Getting better, getting better. 4 more, 4 more. Break a sweat, break a sweat. 5 more, 5 more. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. 6 more, 6 more. I gotta quit, gotta quit. I gotta quit, gotta quit. 7 more, 7 more. I'm passing out, passing out. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Marine Corps, Marine Corps. A boot camp, boot camp. Marine Corps, Marine Corps. A boot camp, boot camp. That's us, that's us, that's us, that's us. Marine Corps, Marine Corps. Boot camp, boot camp. We're the best, we're the best. Forget the rest, forget the rest. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, uh-huh, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling fun, feeling fun, uh-huh, 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 oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Feeling good, feeling good. Easy run, easy run, easy run, easy run. No, 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 yo, no, 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 yo, no, 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 yo, no, 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 yo, no, no. core. To the core. To the core. To the core. Drill instructor, come on out. Drill instructor, come on out. Let us hear your motivating shout. Let us hear your motivating shout. Take it on the left foot. Take it on the left foot. Mighty, mighty left foot. Mighty, mighty left foot. Take it on the left foot. Take it on the left foot. Take it on the left. Take it on the left. Take it. Take it.
I got it.
I got it.
I love right and lay up.
Left, right, lay up.
I lefty right lay up.
Lefty, right, lay up.
I low right lay up.
Low, right, lay up.
I lefty right and lay up.
Lefty, right, lay up.
I lay right lay up.
Low, right, lay up.
I love to double time.
I love you double time.
I lay right lay up.
Low, right, lay up.
I love right lefty right lay up.
Lefty, right, lay up.
I lay right lay up.
Right, lay up.
I love right lefty right lay up.
Lefty, right, lay up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here we go.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm back to 1775. My Marine Corps came alive. I fought the camp, the color red. I saw the world, the blood we shed. I learned the camp, the color white. I saw the world, we love to fight. I learned the camp, the color blood. I saw the world that we are true. I 1, 2, 3, 4. I 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a recruiter, set to me. I'm a Marine, you gotta be. I 1, 2, 3, 4. I 1, 2, 3, 4. I put me on a barber's chair. I step, I had no hair. I 1, 2, 3, 4. I 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I used to wear Levi jeans. And now I'm wearing Khmer greens. I used to drive a Cadillac. And now I'm hopping with the pack. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love right lay up. I love right lefty right lay up. I love right lay up. I love right lefty right lay up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Drill instructor, come on out. I let us hear your motivated shout. I check it on the left foot. A mighty, mighty left foot. Take it. Oh, right, I lay off. I lefty right, I lay off. A low right lay off. I lefty double time. Oh yeah. PT. Good for you. Good for me. A chesty puller was a horse marine. All he wore was Marine Corps green. He ain't steak 8 inches thick. He picked his teeth with a gun on stick. Singing low right lay up. Rolling through the boondock. Low right lay up. Oh yeah. PT. Good for you. Good for you.